Hello everyone and welcome to my Rocket Languages Arabic walkthrough. Before I get into showing you how to use the program, I'm going to show you some of the ancillary features because they really are good. The first one down here is called My Toolbox. If we click in here, we see that we are in the Advanced Learning Techniques part of the program. And if we scroll down, we see there are things like your unique learning style. What kind of a learner are you? If we click in there, we can see that there are several different types of learners. Visual learners, auditory learners, kinesthetic learners, and basically what this is you take a bit of a personality test to see what sort of learning activities are best for you and that you enjoy. And this helps you focus on activities that A, help you learn the best, and B, that you enjoy less, so that you don't get stuck, bogged down doing things that you don't like and that you don't learn well with. And it keeps your learning smooth and nice. And this is something that I've never seen in any other program. And this is a really good feature. If we go back into there, we can scroll down a bit more. We see there's a 5-step language learning plan. This is something a lot of other programs also don't have. How to become a more confident speaker. If we look around here, memory tips and tricks, how to learn tons of new words, the secret of becoming a fluent speaker. So as you can see, you get lots of stuff here to learn how to learn before you even get into learning Arabic. In the next tab here, we can see it's called My Vocab. And this is a place where when you go out and you work in the program, you can flag words, have them stuck in here, and you keep an active list of vocabulary words that you need to practice. And this is really good because you don't want all the vocabulary words in here because the list gets huge, it's overwhelming, you don't know what to do with it all. So this is like a round table of words. You can bring them in, throw them out, bring them in, throw them out as you need. And this keeps you focused and driven and working on things that you need to work on. Next is the phrase finder. This is really cool. You go in and say, for example, type in how are you? And the program comes up, it guesses with what it is they think you want. How are you doing? How are you? How are you if you're talking to a female, if you're talking to a Jordanian or Palestinian? And not only does it give you the translations, but it also gives you
ازيك.
audio recording. And I'm going to tell you more about this Rocket Record. It's an entire feature of itself. But I just want you to see this where you can type in the phrases and get translations and audio work. And the next tab over here is My Notes. This seems simple, you just take notes, but it's actually really good. What it is you can go out, be in any place in the entire software program, take a note. Say, for example, you're not clear about a grammar point. Take a note that you don't understand it, go to the Rocket Forum, ask one of their native Arabic speakers, which is free, included in the program, a question. And then when you come back in here, you go to your note, and it leaves a link and it goes right back to the place where you were when you were confused with the problem. So you don't have to dig through the problem through the software. You don't have to worry about where were you, how do I get there. You just come back to your notes, click on the link, and boom, you go there. All right, that is the My Toolbox tab. And if we go here to my forum, I mentioned it just a minute ago briefly. This is the Rocket Arabic forum. It's a private forum for people who have bought the Rocket Arabic program, and it's hosted by a native Arabic speaker. So you can come in here any time of the day, post a question about, as you can see here, Arabic culture and travel, Arabic grammar, Arabic vocabulary, conversations in Arabic, and you can speak with a native speaking Arabic person to help you with any points that you don't understand. And in addition to that, you're also interacting with all of the other people around the world who are learning with this program. So you don't feel alone, like you're just sitting in your dark little bedroom with your computer screen on by yourself trying to learn a language. You've got a whole group of friends and learners here who are going through the same struggles that you are to pick up this language. And it's really a great feeling, and it's a great place to spend some time to get to know other people who are learning this program. Alright, so that's my forum. My badges, I also really like this, and this is something, again, I've never seen with any other products. All of these people here, you can see Janice 27, she's learning French. She has 840 points. You can go today, yesterday, this week, last week, this month, or last month. And you get points, for example, for asking a question in the forum, giving answers in the forum, using Rocket Record, using My Vocabulary. So as you go through here, you're encouraged to use all of the tools that this program has and you're in a competition with people all over the world. I think there are 800,000 members of Rocket Languages. This isn't just the Rocket Arabic. This is everybody. You see here there's Hindi learners, Japanese, German, French, and you're all in sort of a competition with each other to see who's doing the most work. It's a really wonderful thing. Again, if you don't want to feel like you're just sitting in your room by yourself studying, you've got a whole group of people that you're with. It's really wonderful. Come up to the next one here is my assessments. This is exactly what you think it would be. Every time you do a lesson in here, then you go and you take a test. If you want to move on, even if you fail the test, you can. But obviously, you want to make sure that you're actually learning what you should be learning to go on to the next level. And this is where you do it. And on the top here, you see my dashboard. This is when you log into the program, you come to this screen. So here, for example, are interactive audio lessons. The last viewed that I did was 1.2 survival phrases. The next recommended is 1.3 at the cafe. Same with language and culture. I was in 1.7 survival phrases. The next is possessive suffixes. And this is really good because as soon as you log in, you look here, you see where you were last, and you see where you should go next. You don't have to get into the software and try and remember where you were and what you learned and what step you're on. And some software programs are really terrible, hard to find where you're at. This one is perfect. Right when you get in here, it tells you exactly where to go. Okay, so those are all the ancillary features that the program is built around. And now we're going to look into actually learning with the program. And you can see the main learning takes place here in the interactive audios, language and culture, writing, and games. And we're going to go ahead and go into the interactive audio. We'll go on 1.0 greetings. And you see here, the main learning takes place in these interactive dialogues. I'll hit the play button. And you can see here that this has changed to 20 minutes and 43 seconds. Basically what you're learning here is this dialogue. This is it in Arabic. This is Arabic but with English letters, and this is the translation. And this, they don't just read the dialogue here. This is a full course. It's as if you have a teacher there with you. And you actually have 3 teachers. You have 2 native Arabic speakers, a man and a woman, and a native English-speaking narrator. And the narrator will ask them to do things. For example, model the pronunciation of a word. And then they'll ask you to model the pronunciation of the word after them. And you'll have conversations with them. And it's a whole program that helps you learn. It's not just a recording of the dialogue, which other programs, they just give you the recording and let you go at it, and it really doesn't work very well. These are the different audio tracks. I'm going to come back and show you these, but before I get into that, I want to go into the practice tab, because this is where I like to start learning first. You see, here is the dialogue that we just looked at. It's broken down, and these are all the words in the dialogue, plus extra words, because this is the very first chapter, so they get into learning numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. So you don't just learn the dialogues. You're not just learning a dialogue and spitting it back out. You're adding, and you're moving sideways, upways, down, all over the place, learning all sorts of different things, but in an organized manner. And so these are the words, and these are the dialogues. If we go down to the word here, here's, for example, number 3.
ثلاثة.
Is called teleta. And this rocket record, I told you I'd get back to. You can go into any word or phrase, hit the button for the tutor,
ثلاثة.
and it gives you the correct pronunciation. Then you hit the record, teleta, and then you can play back. Teleta. What I like to do is hit the record and then time it so I start right about here. So I'll hit them.
ثلاثة.
Teleta. And then what you can do is you can come over here and hit this button, and you'll hear the tutor and then you.
ثلاثة.
Teleta.
ثلاثة.
Teleta. And I can listen to it right after each other, and I can hear differences in it, and then I can go back and do it again until I get the word down. And then up here are the dialogues. So here's the first.
أهلا وسهلا يا أميرة.
The first sentence. So you listen to that.
أهلا وسهلا يا أميرة.
And then you go and record it yourself. أهلا وسهلا يا أميرة. That was really bad. Wait, that was terrible.
أهلا وسهلا يا أميرة.
Let me try that again.
أهلا وسهلا يا أميرة.
أهلا وسهلا يا أميرة.
أهلا وسهلا يا أميرة.
أهلا وسهلا يا Obviously, you can see that I need a bit of work here with my pronunciation, But it's great because this is a fun way to do it, and you can go through here to all of the lines in the dialogue. So you can learn all of those and then be on your way. By the way, when you're learning these vocabulary words, they have the games section, but I use another program that you may be interested in. You can get a free version and you can download other people's lists, or you can buy the premium version at $69, and you can make these flashcards. So I like to take all of the words that I'm learning in any program, Rocket or other ones. And this one you can see, for example,
กัน
I'm learning how to speak Thai right now. I'm actually in Thailand right now learning to speak Thai.
คน ซน
And I'm using this flashcard program. This is step 1 where you just look at the cards. But then there's step 2, you see the Thai side, and then you got to produce the English. Then you see the English side, and you got to produce the Thai. So this is called BYKI, and I really recommend it for anybody who is learning a language, because it's a great way to memorize vocabulary words. But like I said, they do have the games here, so you don't have to get it, but I really like it. Okay, so my level here, this is just where you keep track of your progress and where you're at and your tests. So let's go back here to the conversation. This is where your main learning takes place, the 20-minute dialogue here. But sometimes you don't want to listen to the entire lesson. You just want to listen to pieces of it. So this one here, for example, is just the conversation. So it's just this right here. They'll model the pronunciation. This is the end of the recording, which is a review, and where it asks you a lot of questions. They'll say this, say that, how do you pronounce this, what does this mean? It's sort of a test. And then here you have the role play tracks. So you can see here, hit play Amira,
أهلا وسهلا يا أميرة.
and then you see there's a pause. That's because it's waiting for you to say Ahlan wa sahlan ya Hani Izayek, and then it will come back on and it will do the next sentence in the word.
كويس الحمد لله. وإن
And then you will go do the next one. And you can also hit play the B and you'll be A. So you get to have the full conversation. You get 21 minutes of dialogues, of lessons, and you get all these words and the Rocket record feature just to learn one little dialogue. And you don't learn just one little dialogue. You learn the dialogue plus lots of stuff in addition to it. And as you can see here, you can print the PDF. So all of these dialogues and words, you can print them out and take them with you on the bus or whatever. And you can also download the audio. So you see here, download the full audio. So you can take this, put it on an MP3 player. You can take this, print out the PDF, and you can go to the park. You can be on the bus, whatever you want. You have to talk, so you might want to, sit alone in a public area. You might look a bit funny, sit in Starbucks, but it's there. Okay, so that is the interactive audio. Next is the language and culture. And I'm going to go down and check out maybe this 1.6, where are you from? The dialogue here teaches you, obviously, how to ask people where they're from, getting personal information. And this language and culture tab, it gives you extra information. So, for example, in this chapter, you're going to learn how to ask people where they're from. Well, it makes sense then that you need to learn how to say Egypt, America, England, France, Germany, etc. Because when you ask someone where are you from, if they tell you and you don't understand what they said, obviously you haven't done yourself any bit of good memorizing how to say where are you from. So this is the extra part, and this is one of the things I love about this program, is they really thought of everything. It's not just memorize these dialogues and then spit it back out of your mouth. They get extra pieces that go along with it, and it works really well. And it also gives information about if you're talking to female or male, what sort of endings you put on the word. And then personal pronouns. So if someone asks you, where are you from? This is how you say me. If you're a male, to say you for female, you plural, he, she, they, we. So these are things you need to know, because you don't want to just spit out the dialogue and use the, sound like a real novice. You want to use it correctly. So that's what goes on in the language tab. And then in the culture tab, they give you cultural things. So, for example, this chapter is about greeting people and getting personal information. So they tell you about shaking hands. For example, in America, we measure the man by their handshake. A good, strong, firm handshake is an honest, straightforward sort of guy. Well, in Arabic cultures, If you go to Egypt, for example, if you grab someone's hand like that, they're going to think you're a freak. They don't do that. They give a very loose handshake, and this tells you about that. So if you're actually going to go to, for example, Egypt, you want to know some of the cultural things before you get there. And this program has it all included. And like I said, it's all by chapter, and it all makes sense when you learn it. It's really great. So that's the language and culture tab. And then there is the writing tab. We'll go down here, check out the alphabet. You start with the numbers, but I like this alphabet one because it's very simple. This is the alphabet. So you get the written alphabet, and also you can print it here with the PDF. So you can print out all of these. You don't have to use them just on the computer screen. And of course, like everything else,
ألف
you get the Rocket Record.
ألف
Alif.
ألف
Alif. And you can learn the pronunciation of all of them. So this is actually the writing tab, but you're learning pronunciation as well. And like I keep saying, this is one of the great things I love about this program, is it's not just broken into pieces and you're left to figure out how best to use it. This is the writing section, but you're learning pronunciation of the words, because what's the point of learning to write it if you can't pronounce it correctly, So you're doing it all at the same time, and it does this throughout the whole course. You learn the alphabet, and then of course words and numbers and everything. Okay, that's the writing section, and here's the games section, and this is where you go in and you can learn all of the different words and phrases. I don't have this turned on my copy, so unfortunately I can't use it, but it's a whole list of games that you can use to go and learn the vocabulary. Again, like I said before, this BYKI program is a really wonderful program. You can get it for free, but you can't make your own lists, but you can download lists off the internet. There are thousands and thousands of them. So if you typed in BYKI Rocket Arabic lists, somebody has probably uploaded them, and you can use it. Like I said, it's free. So I would check that out if I were you. Okay, that is it for this. You learn mostly in the interactive audios, but you've got your language and culture tab, your writing tabs, games. The survival kit is just extra learning material that they give you as sort of a bonus. And then you've got your toolbox that teaches you how to learn, the forum where you can go interact with other learners and a native Arabic speaker, my badges, which put you against everybody in the world learning this with the Rocket Language programs, and then your tests here, and of course, yeah, Rocket News. And that is pretty much the overview of this program. If you have any questions or you want to talk about it, you can come by my site, speakoutlanguages.com, and just look for my review of this Rocket Arabic, and you learn a lot more. And feel free to give me any questions about using this program or any other ones. Thanks for stopping by. Take care.